glad you guys could make it today. Today we're on a service call. The complaint from the customer is, this unit just doesn't seem like it's cooling as well as it did last year. Well, this is one of the first warm days in Las Vegas, and it should put it to the test. So we'll check out a number of things on it, mostly of what we would do on our HPP service plan. One thing that I did ask the customer is when the last time they had it serviced was. And they told me that they had it serviced at the end of last cooling season. I said, why did you wait so long? She said, well, it was a friend of mine did it. He come over and he looked it over and he put a set of gauges on it and said he thought it looked okay to him. And that's the last service that's been done on it. Now, one of the first things I see when I walk up on this unit is, yes, that's probably true. Looks like an amateur has been working on it because there's a missing Schrader valve cap. There's a cap on here, but there's no cap on here. This is where we hook our gauges up to determine the level of refrigerant. The caps are on there for a reason, because Schrader valves, all of them, leak a tiny amount. And that's why they put a cap on top, just as they do on the valve stem of your vehicle, to keep that tiny amount of air from leaking out. So, good chance this guy's low on refrigerant. I'll go get my gauges and put on it, and we'll see. Good morning, guys. We're over at a customer's home. Today they have a bit of a problem. They say the unit just doesn't feel like it's cooling as if it should, not like it did last year. We've turned it on and let it run for a few minutes, and the first thing we'll do is check the all-important temperature drop or temperature split. Again, that means we'll take the temperature of the air being drawn into the return at the filter section. It's drawn in to the unit, to the furnace, through the A-coil, and then blown out the ducts, the vents, the supply vents. So we'll take a drop on it first. We'll first measure the temperature of this return. Looks like it's going in at about 74.5 degrees. Now we'll go in and take a temperature of the supply to see what the temperature is coming out at. About 68 degrees is what it's coming out at. So what is our temperature drop? Who's the mathematical genius that can tell me that? 74 in, 68 out. 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. A 6-degree drop. That's not enough. So now we'll go outside and take a couple of readings. We'll take the refrigerant readings and see what it looks like from there. But this just obviously won't cool. Not at this. It can run and run and run, and it's just not going to pull the temperature down. The unit's been running for about 10 minutes now. I've put on my gauges. I've already watched it for a while. I've taken some temperatures of the suction line, the liquid line, and deduced that this machine is low on refrigerant. So I'm going to go get some refrigerant, bring it up to the proper operating temperatures and pressures. Then we'll go back inside and see if we have improved our 6-degree temperature split. Because again, 6 degrees just won't cut it. Should be somewhere around 15. I'm now adding refrigerant, small amounts at a time. I'll add it, shut it off, add it, shut it off, in an effort to get the pressures to where I want them to be. No, still need a little bit more. I'll continue to add until this pressure slowly catches up and comes down and gets more in line with our high side gauge. Should take about 5 minutes. Looks like we're right about where we need to be on refrigerant charge now. couple of more readings here. A little more in line. So now we have a superheat of about 12 degrees and a subcooling of about 18, which is about where I like to run it. We'll go inside now and see the results. All right, the system's been running for about 10 more minutes now. It's brought the temperature down in the house a little bit. And we're going to take another reading on the return air. Remember, that's what it's pulled into the unit. And we're reading about 74.0. We've gone to a different register in the house now. Remember, we just took our return and it is 74 degrees. This register is a little further away, and we'll see what kind of a temperature output we get on it. We have 54 degrees out. So that means our temperature split is about 20 degrees, which is very good. Remember, we went from a 6 degree to a 20 degree drop. So we'll now get the benefits of full air conditioning and dehumidification. And just so you'll know, I put about 2 pounds of refrigerant. Yeah, that's all, 2 pounds. So now you see what happens when a unit is just a little bit undercharged. Not a lot, but only 2 pounds. This would be considered topping off a unit. So this is another benefit of the HPP. If we find that the system is low on refrigerant, we can correct it at the start, and instead of the customer going through the full season with the unit not running as it should and not getting the proper output for the dollars that they spend running it, we can take care of that, and for a nominal price. All right, guys, thank you again for your time.